We rate all 15 Yeezy slated to drop from June the 1st. Cop that, stop that, and shut that. Now, for those that listened to the podcast last week, you remember that we spoke about the fact that Yeezy and Adidas have finally got back together. They brought the team back together. They buried the hatchet. The band's back together for one more run. Yeah, and I've got it on good authority that there's going to be no renegotiation after all of the shoes are sold. This is it. It's a one and done deal. But here's hoping. You never know. And I'm hoping because of that, they're going to really roll out all the biggest hits in these next few months that they're starting to bring out these shoes. And obviously, talking about shoes, that's the most important thing. And that's the thing that we're going to talk about right now. It came out this week that on June the 1st, or from June the 1st, I should say, 15 Yeezys will be dropping. Now, they didn't say over what period of time. They just said 15 are going to be dropping. They threw up an image, and I've got the image on screen now so you can see what I'm talking about. But I thought it'd probably be a good thing for us to do, go through every single shoe that's slated to drop in the next few months, and let's rate them, cop that. I love the shoe. When I put the shoe back in my collection, grab the shoe for my collection, just love the shoe. Stop that, meaning the shoe's not all that, I'm not feeling the shoe, I don't really want the shoe. Or shot that, meaning the shoe's pretty cool, but maybe just not for me. But the resale on that, baby, ching, ching. There's money to be made, my people, yeah? So yeah, we're going to go through every single one of the Yeezys dropping, and we'll have a brief discussion about each, and then obviously I'll give you my rating. So this is how we're going to go through the 15. Obviously it's quite a lot. So we're going to go from the least interesting to the most interesting, in my opinion, and we'll group them in terms of silhouettes as well. Now, starting off with an absolute dud. We have the Yeezy 380 Coverlight. Now, I actually copped this shoe ages ago when I think it first dropped. Didn't have many good things to say about it then, don't have many good things to say about it now, to be fair. Most people say that the 380 is the most comfortable of all the Yeezys. I can't say that I 100% agree. Even though it's got the most boost, which would suggest it is the most comfortable, it's got the smallest area for you to be able to get your actual foot in. Like the gap for you to actually put your foot in is like so small. I'm just thinking about it gives me anxiety. So yeah, not a shoe that's high on my list. This shoe traditionally sits like it's just that type of shoe. So if you feel this type of, or if you like, I should say, this type of silhouette, you're not going to have any trouble getting it. 100%. If you've been dreaming and waiting for a 380, you've got it, boy. You've got it. And I would probably suggest you didn't need to wait for Yeezy and Adidas to reconcile for you to cop a 380, because they're all sitting under retail on StockX right now. Yeah. So just, yeah. If that's your vibe, do your thing, but that's not for me. So I'm going to say that's a stop that on the Coverlight 380. All right, moving swiftly on. Interesting shoe. We've got the 350 V2 Compact, or the 350 V2 CMPCT in the black and the white colorway. So the Compact actually has dropped previously in various different colorways, but the black and white version, which in the photos that I've seen looks to be the sort of rumored black and white version, it's a different colorway, hasn't actually dropped, and I think it's pretty cool, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it's a decent looking shoe. The 350 V2 Compact is kind of like a more sporty version of the 350 V2. So you've got like a slightly higher collar on the ankle, and the priming it is just one piece. There's no center seam. It's all one piece with the infinity lace system. So maybe built for speed, I don't know. Built for endurance, you get me? But whatever it's built for, like, it's a decent looking shoe. Nothing really to write home about in terms of resale. No resale value on the shoe at all. But decent colorway. So if you like a 350 V2 and you fancy a more a more sort of streamlined, speedy version, I think this may be the one for you, but it's not the one for me. So I'm going to say stop that. Okay. Now moving on, 450. Now, looking at the picture that they put online, it looks like it's the 450 Cinder. It may be, because it looked quite grey, it may be the Cinder, it may be something else, but I'm going to go, for the purposes of the video, I'm going to go with it being the Cinder. Now, the Cinder dropped previously. I actually managed to cop the Cinder. And when I copped the shoe, it wasn't because I really liked the colorway, because the Cinder colorway is kind of a bit of a no man's land, it's kind of a grey, kind of a green. It's a bit meh, right? It was more because I was intrigued by the actual silhouette itself. And I can't lie, putting that shoe on, the 450, was an eye opener. I think it's my sleeper pick for the most comfortable Yeezy of all the Yeezys, as in everything. I think it may be. Right, you let me know what you think in the comments below. You let me know what you think the most comfortable Yeezy is. But yeah, the 450 is my sleeper pick for the most comfortable Yeezy. Didn't really see it coming, but when I put it on feet, I could. My feet tell me. They tell me, and my feet don't lie. I'm like Shakira and her hips. What? Oh my days. As I say, it's a silhouette that I vibe with. I don't know if I feel the color, and I don't know how, because I remember when the Cinder came out, they were pretty easy to get. So I don't know if there's going to be any resale value. I don't think previously there's been any real resale hype around the 450, maybe around the first colorway, maybe around the black. So the first colorway was the white, the second colorway was the black, I think. I think those colorways might have a little bit of resale, if any. But yeah, the Cinder's definitely not the one for resale. So ultimately, even though I think the shoe decent in terms of comfort, I'm not going for this particular version, and therefore it's a stop that. Okay, moving swiftly on to the 700 V2 Tepra. Now, don't like this shoe. Don't like this. No, let me be more specific. Like the silhouette, don't like the colorway. The Tepra colorway isn't the one for me. I prefer the V1 700, in terms of the shape of the actual silhouette. It's also a really expensive shoe for one that I really don't vibe with. Not really for me. And there's not a lot of resale value on the shoe as well, considering its hefty price point. So, all in all, yeah, stop that. Moving on to the 700 V1 in the Salt colorway. And as I said previously, I vibe with the V1. The V1 700, that's my jam. You can see over my shoulder, 700 there. I've actually got over this shoulder my analog 700s as well. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the 700 as a silhouette. This particular colorway is a little bit middle of the road, a little bit meh, if I'm being honest. The Salt colorway, if you can imagine, for those that are listening, it's kind of white with a grayish, bluish hue, and that's it, essentially. So it's a very wearable shoe, if you were to copy it, but it's likely to be about £250, $280. Like, it's going to be really, really expensive. Not the most desirable 700 out there. And then, as I said, it's going to be really expensive. No real resale value as well, in my opinion. So yeah, all in all, a bit of a stop that. Now let's bunch some stuff together. So let's talk about the Yeezy Slides. Now, everybody knows Yeezy Slides are really, really, really popular. The shoes that will be dropping, or the slides that will be dropping, will be the Azure, which is essentially a sort of, a strong blue, and the Onyx, which is a black. Now, unfortunately for me, and this is just for me, Yeezy Slides don't fit my feet. I've got big, thick feet and ankles. And yeah, man, it just don't go so. It don't work for me. And it's a shame, because like, when I squeeze my foot in, like, the bounce is ridiculous. The composite of the materials in the rubber and whatever it is, just makes a super bouncy, comfortable slide. But it's just the actual shape doesn't work for me in terms of me getting my feet in. But woe is me, that's life. Not every shoe you like are you meant to cop. And that is it, right? Slides, though, we know are big tickets when it comes to the Yeezys. Big, big, big tickets. So, yeah, there's going to be massive resale on these. So I will be going for them, even though I won't be able to rock them myself. And I think the Onyx are going to probably be the hardest ones to get. Blue's decent, but we don't go around seeing many people rocking blue sliders, whereas black sliders are very, very wearable. And yeah, it's a bit of a theme in terms of the shoes that will be dropping, in this particular drop. With the black shoes, black Yeezys tend to do really well over time, in terms of resale and in terms of just wearability. So yeah, a black slide is obviously going to do really well. So that's going to be a big ticket. So if you can get a pair of those, whether you hold on to them or you shot them, you're probably going to be in a good spot. So yeah, I'm going to say shot these. So let's move on to the foam runners. There's actually going to be 3 foam runners dropping. I believe it's the flax, the stone sage, and a new colorway that I can't really place. It kind of looks like the mixed carbon, but it's not, because it doesn't have any of the yellow or the pink. It's kind of got more browns and blacks and blues. So it's kind of, so if you could picture a mixed carbon, but just with those types of colors, that's the kind of vibe it is. So it's an interesting looking shoe, a slightly darker colorway once again. Not the greatest color selection this time around. I do like the silhouette. It's a real Marmite shoe. We can all agree it's a Marmite shoe. Some people love it, some people hate it. But if you make the mistake of putting your foot inside that shoe, of allowing your foot to enter that shoe, bruv, yeah, it's a wrap. You get me? You may fall in love instantly. You get me? And there's no remedy to that. So yeah, even though these aren't the best colors for this particular silhouette, I still think they'll do really well in terms of resale. So yeah, I'm gonna shot that. Okay, so moving on to the Yeezy 500. Now this Yeezy 500 is the utility black. I actually have a pair of those right at the top of my unit there. Solid shoe, like nothing crazy to write home about, just a real dependable, solid shoe. In my opinion, an OG, a classic. I won't hear a bad word said about the 500. And especially in this colorway, super strong. I've already got it in my collection. Don't know if I'd need another pair. I don't think it's that type of shoe. I think one's enough. I think resale should be okay. As I say, it's a black Yeezy 500. So resale should be okay. Nothing crazy. So I think it's probably a shot that. I think that's probably your best bet. Let's move on to the 350 V2s. There were actually 3 350 V2s dropping. You've got the Carbon Beluga, you've got the Zebra, and you've got the Onyx. Let's start with the newest colorway because it's something that's been rumored for a while. The Carbon Beluga obviously takes a lot of its inspiration from the original Beluga, but there's more darker tones to it on the upper. For me, it's a no. Don't really like the shoe. The Beluga's okay, but a darker version of the Beluga is definitely not a vibe. So yeah, it's a stop that for me. Moving on to the Onyx, as I sort of alluded to with the utility black, I kind of view the Onyx 350 V2 in a similar way to the Black Cat Jordan 4. I think people slept on it when it first dropped, but if you check on StockX right now, last sold for £425. You get me? So yeah, I think there's always going to be demand for a blacked out Yeezy. There's always going to be demand for a wearable blacked out Yeezy. And the Onyx is an actual black Yeezy. It's not like the Static Black, which is one of the first pairs I got, which is kind of a matte black. The Onyx is an actual black pair of Yeezys. Super solid. Very, very cool. And yeah, definitely think you'd be going for this. It's a smart one to go for because the resale will be strong. Even if you just wanted a second pair to sit on, for a little while before you shot it. I think that might be a good play as well. So I'm gonna go for a shot that because I've already got a pair, but I might not shot that straight away. I might just hold it on for a little bit and let the market normalize. But yeah, whatever you're doing, you want to be up for the Onyx. The Onyx is definitely a good one to go for. Moving swiftly on to probably the most retro 350 V2 of all time. We're talking about the Zebra. Now, the Zebra is a crepe that always sells out. It's always going to sell out. It's super, super iconic in terms of the 350 V2. It's one of the first shoes that people will remember or will see in their mind when talking about the 350 V2. So yeah, it's definitely a popular shoe. It's not one that I see on the road very often, but still one that I know sells out every single time it drops, and it's dropped a lot of times. So yeah, I think we're going to go around and do the whole thing again. The shoe is going to drop. We're going to resell it like I've resold it so many other times before, and it's going to do decent numbers. It's not going to do crazy numbers, but it's definitely going to do decent numbers. And if this is the last time you're going to get a Zebra, I think it could do all right, man. I think it could do all right. So yeah, I'm going to say shut that for the Zebra. Now, we get to the last, but certainly not the least. We are talking about the 350 V1 in the Pirate Black colorway. Yes, I've been waiting for a 350 V1. Last year, Yeezy Day, they were meant to drop the Turtle Dove. Didn't happen. Every other time there's been a V1 drop, I've not been able to cop. I'm trying to cop the Pirate Blacks, my people. I'm trying to cop the Pirate Blacks. So I need all of your positive energy on your prayers. You get me? Like direct it towards me copping at 12.5. You get me? On the Pirate Blacks. I think for me, this shoe, it's an awesome shoe. I think it represents history. It represents nostalgia for me. And I need to have this shoe in my hands. I'm a little bit scared of this shoe because I've never held the shoe, I've never seen the shoe, and I've certainly not tried the shoe on. So in terms of like day-to-day wear, I've got an Onyx, I've got a utility black. Do I see myself wearing the Pirate Black on a day-to-day basis? I don't know, but I'd rather have the shoe and make that decision than not have the shoe. The shoe represents too much to me. I'm definitely vibing with the shoe, and I'm definitely going for the shoe. Of all the shoes that are dropping from June the 1st, this is the one. Yeah, I'm just laying it down right now. This is the one. So yeah, guys, yeah, 100% without any form of doubt, no shaking whatsoever. This is a cop that, yeah. And whether you cop it to have part of your collection or you're copping it to shut it later, yeah, you're going to do all right on the Pirate Black, because don't come back often and it may never ever come back again. Okay. So guys, we've gone through the list now. I've let you know my thoughts on every single Adidas Yeezys that should be dropping from June the 1st, 2023. Let me know which ones you're looking for, which ones you're looking forward to, and what you're going to be doing with those shoes in the comments below. If you don't want to drop me a line in the comments, holler at me on social media. I'm PROZECH on all forms of social media. Feel free to at me, and yeah, I will always holler back. Also, guys, let me know if you're vibing with the list. There's always going to be some hits and some misses. This is essentially a closing down sale. This is a closing down sale, right? They're only going to sell what they've already made, what's already in the warehouse. They're not making new shoes. So we are limited by way of what was slated for last year. That's all we're going to get. So even if the suggestion, because of there being more interest in Yeezy now, because of the sort of the recollaboration, they're not going to go back in the lab and knock off a turtle dove if it's not already in the warehouse, which I'm hoping it's in the warehouse. They're not going to do it. Right? So this may be it in terms of Adidas and Yeezy. This may be it, right? So in general, I'm thinking better to cop, view the market, and then make your play than for you to not, because you may never get the opportunity again, right? Just a piece of advice for you, man.